Hey guys, how's it going? Thought I might give you a little look into what college life has been these last couple of weeks here at A&M, so here we go. First week of school is when everyone is getting ready for the semester. Came back to my apartment and brought my stuff from the winter break, so my clothes, my PC, etc. Mom hooked me up with a bunch of tasty frozen food, so that's been making me dinners for basically the whole month and more, so shout out to mom for that. Really appreciate her. Nothing too eventful really happened that first week, and it mainly consisted of getting used to class times and locations, reading up on the syllabus, buying class materials, making a schedule, etc. The second week of school is when the ball started rolling, with homework coming in, quizzes, and clubs began to become more active. For extracurricular stuff, the first meetings of the semester were being announced, and there were five main clubs slash orgs that I was interested in. K&M Student Radio, because I was co-hosting a radio show already with my roommate Hayden last semester, Somtech Mechatronics, Aggie Coding Club, and the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu Club. First meeting I went to was the Somtech meeting. I had heard about them last semester and I wanted to get more involved this semester, specifically with their rover competition team. What the URC team does is they build a rover from scratch for competition that can navigate a desert terrain and analyze data, like looking for signs of life. At the meeting, they said they needed people to help with media, taking pictures or videos at events to promote their Instagram, and I was interested, so I talked to a few of the officers and I volunteered myself. Later that week, I went to the SEC Career Fair for Engineers. I arrived a bit later than I wanted to since my classes for that day ended around 2:40 p.m. and I had a required advising meeting right after that, so I got to the fair around 4:30 to 4:35 p.m. and it ends at 6. So by the time I had arrived, a lot of the place was mostly empty because a lot of these companies had come long distances to this career fair and they needed to pack up to make it back home in time. But I did manage to talk to 3 companies who potentially might reach out to me with an internship for this summer. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Later that day, I had a meeting with K&M. This meeting was for member training for new and old members. Most of the meeting covered general fairs and other various activities that will be occurring throughout the semester, but something new that the meeting introduced was an updated studio with new mics and a brand new mixer. It also introduced a new piece of software that would be using a website called Spinitron that we would use to track the songs that we played on our shows instead of typing them out or copying pasting them into the K&M Discord channel. The third week of college went about as smoothly as the previous. The workload was about the same, and nothing really started to pile up just yet. I had my first meeting with the mechanical team of Somtech that Monday, where design updates were discussed for the rover, and new members were given some work to prepare them to become part of the team. One of the team leaders instructed us new members to provide documentation and design for the rover's wheels, taking into account size constraints, mass reduction, and traction. They also provided us with some SOLIDWORKS CAD lessons to watch online since this is a software that we would be using to design the rover. Later that day, I also had another meeting. This one was the first one with the Aggie Coding Club. I don't particularly enjoy coding personally, but I've come to realize that it's a great skill to have in the field of engineering, both as something to put on the resume as well as something that you can draw upon for personal projects. What I liked about this club particularly is, like Somtech, it was open to all experience levels and was very flexible with student schedules. They promoted a vast array of projects ranging from beginner to advanced experience levels, and I signed up for some beginner projects involving Python and C++ since I'm fairly familiar with these coding languages and want to improve my proficiency in them. Later that week, K&M had an officer introduction meeting. Tradition in K&M where officers create silly little presentations for each other in order for members to get to know them better. And I absolutely loved these last semester, and I was glad I got to see them again this semester. Another K&M event that occurred that week was the Comeback Tour, where 2 bands, Nico Ray Band and Heel, came to perform live in the Aggie Park Amphitheater, along with some karaoke for members to join in on and have fun with. Hayden and I both attended this event, and we both brought some media capture equipment with us. Hayden brought his GoPro to record a POV of the night, and I brought my DSLR camera to take some cool pics of the bands and the park at night. Spoke with some of the officers asking if there was any kind of team/committee I could join that focuses on taking pictures or videos of events in K&M, and they responded with, yes, there is, and told me to talk with one of the officers who was the main photographer to get more info. And although Hayden and I wish we could have stayed longer to enjoy more live music, our radio show was starting soon, and we wanted to make sure we were ready with the new studio and software at the station, so we headed over to the MSC Underground to prepare. Once our show began, I was so happy with the new changes made to the studio. Everything was much cleaner, less cluttered, and our voices sounded so much better with the new mics. Last semester, we would alternate who was the main host of the night, and one of us was always stuck with the crappy mic and the other one with the decent sounding one, so the new mics are much appreciated. Going into the weekend was AggieCon, a con hosted in the MSC with a lot of history behind it at A&M, and the first time I went to it was with Hayden and his uncle last year, and although it was a fun time, I was definitely a little bit underwhelmed by the size of it. I've been to a few cons in my life, and this one is by far the smallest one that I've been to. Not too many people, and not a whole lot of vendors that really caught my eye, but this year I'm so glad that things were much better. It seemed much more active, more things to see and do, which I was very pleased with. And this time, I actually managed to find something I wanted to buy, since a lot of stuff is very expensive at cons, and I got a little crochet mushroom guy and this little Kirby plush wristband. I'll pull up a picture on the screen for y'all to see here in a bit. All in all, these first 3 weeks have been great, and I'm really looking forward to what this semester has in store. Looking forward to participating more in SomTech, Aggie Coding, K&M, and the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu Club, which I haven't been able to join just yet since I'm waiting for some new gear to come in, but I will be a part of it very soon. I'm looking forward to also learning new things in my academics and my career. My main goal is to learn as much as I can here with what time I have, but to also have some fun while doing it. So yeah, that concludes this 3-week update. Thanks for watching. I hope y'all enjoyed listening to me rant about college life here at A&M. I'll try to remember to do another update in 3 more weeks, and until then, stay tuned for my streams on Twitch and YouTube, and for more videos coming out in the future. Until then, have a great day, and I'll catch you later.